Okay, welcome to Customized Chart Elements, and this is the two-page tutorial on pages 238 and 239 of Module 9 in Excel. And so, up to this point we've talked about what we need to do to create a chart, creating the chart, and then applying maybe a quick layout and a chart style. Remember, a quick layout tells you how the elements are going to be laid out in the chart. And the styles are a color combination. So you see here that we have a dark background and we have some different colors. Again, these colors are dictated by the theme that we're currently using in the worksheet. We can change these colors. This would be under the Customizing Chart Elements category. So if we come over here, we can click the Change Colors button. We can see these are all the colors that are available, and I can go monochromatic 6 or 7 or 8 or 9. Again, we have quite a few options here. If I change the theme, so if I come over here and go to page layout and change the theme, you'll also notice that those colors are going to change. Okay, so I'm holding my cursor over the slice theme, and so the colors for that specific chart has changed. So we need to be mindful of those types of things. Another thing that we can use to customize this, if we click on one of these, on one of the elements in the chart, to select it, we can right click, and at the bottom it tells us, we can format the axis title, or we can format the chart title, or we can format the plot area. When we do this, when we tell it that we want to format, the axis title or the chart title or whatnot, we get a navigation pane that pops out from the right hand side. And you'll see Format Axis Title up here at the top because that's what we right-clicked on, but you'll also see a drop-down that we can move, size, close. Here, under Title Options, you'll see all of the elements that we can change for this specific chart. So if I want to change the legend, I can come over here and click Legend. And we have 3 options. So if we hold our cursor, we have the fill and line. So this is going to determine whether or not there's going to be a border around this, whether or not the fill is going to remain the same as the chart style that we provided, for fill and border. Then we've got the effects. So if we click on effects, we can see shadow, glow, or soft edges, and we talked about that in Word as far as what a shadow would be. And so it's the same concept here. And then we have the legend options, because that's what we're talking about, is the legend. So here it says, what's your legend position? Do you want it to be top, bottom, left, right, or top, right? So if I want it to be right, I'm going to click right. It's going to affect that in my chart. Okay? Now I don't have to come back over to my chart and say, okay, now I want to do the chart title. I can come over here to the title options and choose that from this area. So I could say, okay, let's change the plot area. Now I'm going to change a plot area. It comes over here and it outlines it. It says this is the area that we're working with. And if I come over here and give it a fill, I could change it from this dark color to something else. I could say a solid fill, and then I could change the color. So you'd automatically change it to blue because that's what was selected here. I could say I want it to be gray instead of the dark black color behind it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and undo that. So just be aware that there are options over here on the right hand side. We are not going to get too far into these just because it's kind of advanced, but know that you can change a lot of the aspects of your chart using this area over here on the right hand side. If I click, I could click on one series. So I have a data series, 1, 2, 3, 4. This happens to be the March data series over all 4 stores. It says format the data series. I could tell it that I want it to be, a gradient fill, and then change the color. So here I could say, okay, I want this to be a green gradient fill versus this gray that didn't really stand out. Now I can make this stand out more, and it looks more of what I want. I think the option that they want you to change here on 238 is this vertical title, vertical axis title, excuse me. So if we tell it that we want to format that, it wants us to click on the size and properties button, and it tells us it wants us to change the vertical alignment, the text direction to horizontal. So instead of being up and down, now it's horizontal in our chart, so it's a little easier to read. So, all right, so that's just a couple of things about customizing your chart elements. Another thing I want to talk about too is moving a chart. Now we talked about moving a chart a little bit ago, 2 or 3 videos ago. But we didn't talk about moving it from an embedded object in a worksheet to its own chart sheet. There's the right way to do that, and there's the wrong way to do that. So I'm going to show you the right way, and I'll show you the wrong way so that you know what not to do. So the right way to do this is to select the chart so that we know we have our sizing handles around the outside. Then we're going to come over here to the Chart Tools Design tab, and all the way over here on the right hand side we're going to click Move Chart. So if I click Move Chart, a box pops up and it says, okay, this is an object in sheet 1, and I can look down here and we have sheet 1, and I know this is an object. Okay, I'm going to tell it that I want to put it on its own chart sheet, so this is going to be a new sheet, and then I can name the chart sheet, and I can name it whatever I want. So I'm going to name it produce sales, and then I'm going to say OK. Okay, and what it does is it takes that chart and it moves it from sheet 1. So if I come back over here to sheet 1, look down here, that chart is no longer here. It is on its own chart sheet. It's the same chart. If I make changes, over here in the worksheet that we used to create it, it will affect the chart itself. So here we have for March, we have 103,445 for San Diego. I'm going to change this drastically so you can see the effect it has. So I'm going to come over here, San Diego, we have 103,445. I'm going to take it down to 50,000. Okay, it's going to cut it essentially in half. So now if I just click off, it's still going to be 50,000. It's updated my worksheet. If I come over here to produce sales, you can see that it's still related. It's still related to that information. So if we do something here, it will still affect the way the chart looks. Okay, I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to undo that. Okay, if I come back over here, then we see this comes back. Now if we decide that we don't want this to be on its own chart sheet, again we'd have to select it, Chart Tools, Design, Move Chart. We can put it right back as an object in sheet 1. It gets rid of that chart sheet and puts it back as an embedded object. I will know on the test you will have to do that with a chart, and I will know if you do it correctly or if you do it incorrectly. So you're going to use the Move Chart button. You could theoretically cut this, so we could right click and say cut. I could create a new chart, or a new sheet, excuse me, and I could right click and I could say paste. Okay, I'm going to know if you did that or if you actually clicked the Move button. Okay, it's still going to be related. If I change something, it's still going to be related. If I come over here and say 50,000 and come back over here, it still is related to the information that we used to create it, but it's not the right way to move a chart to its own sheet. Okay, so we want to use the other. We want to come back over here to Design. I'm going to say Move Chart. We want to put it back in its sheet 1, and we're going to say OK. Oops. Now we're going to do this, and we're going to put it where it should be. Okay, and then I have to get rid of sheet 2, so I'm going to right click and I'm going to delete that sheet. Now, when you try to delete a sheet, if it had anything in it, it'll come up and say, you know, we can't undo this. So if you do this right now, it's going to get rid of everything. And that's okay. That's okay for this instance because there's nothing on there. So, okay, so that's enhancing a sheet, or enhancing a chart, excuse me, and moving a chart to its own chart sheet. And we're going to move on to the next little 2-page tutorial in the next video. Thank you.